Central Kentucky family waiting for answers.
I'm sad, like, every time I think about it, because you just think, how could somebody do this to my uncle?
Nearly a month after a man died in the Lexington hit-and-run crash, both his family and police are still asking for help in the case.
Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes fires back at Donald Trump after he made a comment about her on Twitter.
And how a group of musicians in Lexington paid tribute to Prince and his musical legacy tonight.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening to you. If you are tired of the wet and cool weather, we know we are, that we've had this week in Kentucky, we have some good news for you.
It's about time. It looks like tomorrow's weather will be much better. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and that good news in your no-wait weather forecast.
Exactly right. Some of us started to get in on the good stuff late this afternoon into the evening. And look at what we have now. Defender Radar Network, no precipitation to show you. Only one day so far for the month of May without rain into central and eastern Kentucky. Absolutely crazy. Tomorrow we'll make it too. We're seeing the clouds decreasing now. Current temperatures compared to this same point last night when we were talking are above where we were 24 hours ago. 6 degrees warmer. Lexington, notice southern Kentucky. You were warmer last night than you are now. Right now we've kind of flipped the script. The north into the upper 50s, the south right at 50. Hello Somerset and Monticello, into Richmond and Danville. Farther north you go, though, those temperatures are a little better. Let's go into your Thursday morning and let's track the pleasant weather across central and eastern Kentucky. Temperatures out the door into the cool 40s. Noontime already into the mid-60s, and by tomorrow afternoon many thermometers will top out into the upper 60s to low 70s depending on exactly where you are, with a mostly sunny sky. That nice weather hangs tough into tomorrow evening with temperatures similar to what we have out there right now into most of the region. Enjoy it. I've got the rain that is ready to return very quickly, guys. A new hour-by-hour forecast showing a greater threat for rain deeper into the weekend. That comes your way at 11:12. We'll see you then.
It is still a mystery nearly 1 month later. Tonight, Lexington police are again asking for your help finding the person who killed a man in a hit-and-run crash.
Police say 52-year-old Roger Morrison died the morning of April 22nd after being hit by a car on New Circle Road near Industry Road. Police think the car on the right in this picture hit him. New tonight, Garrett Weimer talked to Morrison's family. It's our top story at 11.
Sierra Morrison can't help but smile when she thinks about her Uncle Roger.
Well, me and my uncle, we had great times. Like, it's hilarious times. That's why I always smile, because it's hilarious.
But those memories are all she has left of him to hold on to. Investigators say Roger Morrison died after a car hit him on New Circle Road, then took off.
So then we had to tell my dad. And it was hard because I've never seen my dad's a grown man. I've never seen him cry like that, but I did when his brother died.
Even now, investigators still don't know who hit him.
Like, how could somebody do that to him and just leave him there?
Police have renewed their call for help, hoping someone knows something or can identify the car that hit Morrison right here near this intersection nearly a month ago. Sierra says she drives on New Circle quite a bit, haunted by visions of what happened when she passes the spot her uncle died.
What gets me the most is, if he was the person who accidentally hit somebody, he would have got out and helped. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have kept running or fleeing and evading and all that, but somebody did it to him.
She just wants answers, still hoping the person who hit her uncle will come forward. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Morrison says her family put up a memorial near the spot where her uncle died. It disappeared, but she says they plan to put up another one.
A victory tonight for Governor Matt Bevin as he tries to cut the budgets of public colleges and universities. A Franklin County judge ruled that the governor can make those cuts without the state legislature's approval. The judge said that 2 state laws allow the governor to reduce allotments for universities. Attorney General Andy Beshear sued the governor over the cuts. He said he'll appeal the judge's ruling and seek to have the state Supreme Court weigh in on it. In a statement, the governor said that Beshear's position was both irresponsible and unsustainable for government. The judge did order that the $18 million in disputed money cannot be touched until all appeals have been resolved. The Kentucky Community and Technical College system has announced some major layoffs to make up for a financial shortfall. In an email, KCTCS President Jay Box called the decision gut-wrenching. But he said declining enrollment, a loss in tuition revenue, and years of cuts in state money left the system with no choice. KCTCS plans to cut 500 positions. Around 200 of those are faculty, around 300 are staff. Leaders say that many of those positions are currently vacant or left empty by retirement.
A fire in a Lexington neighborhood is raising some questions about how homes are built. Yesterday, a fire destroyed one house and damaged 4 others nearby on Stansbury Cove near Hayes Boulevard. Firefighters say the fire quickly spread because the homes were built so close to each other, in some cases less than 10 feet apart. It's become common in Lexington for homes to be built that close to one another. City leaders say builders are trying to meet the need for new homes while still preserving rural lands.
There is the ongoing demand for single-family housing, and in order to accommodate that and still provide housing that is reasonably affordable, it really needs to be built in a different way than it has been in the past.
Since 2006, regulations have required new homes to have a fire-rated wall if they're built within 5 feet of the property line. The homes damaged in yesterday's fire were built in 2005. Firefighters aren't yet sure what caused it. We have some new information tonight about the investigation into the murder of a Central Kentucky teenager. According to the Harrodsburg Herald, the cases against 18-year-old Megan Sims and 18-year-old Zachary Lay have been sent to a grand jury. Police charge both with evidence tampering. Police say the victim, 17-year-old Tristan Cole, was found shot to death in a Mercer County field last month. They charge a juvenile with murder and robbery in the case.
New tonight, investigators are trying to figure out what caused a deadly fire in Harlan County. The fire started just before 3 this morning at a home on Highway 413, not far from Harlan. Police say firefighters found 25-year-old Jerry Langley dead inside the home. An autopsy has been scheduled to find out what caused his death.
New tonight, a Lexington road is reopened after a crash shut it down for hours. Lexington police say a truck hauling dead cows flipped on Russell Cave Road this afternoon after slipping onto the shoulder. The driver wasn't seriously injured, but the truck blocked both directions of the road. Police say it reopened about 6:30. New tonight, Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes has replied to a comment Donald Trump made about her through Twitter. In a tweet, the presumptive Republican presidential nominee questioned why Grimes called the Kentucky Democratic primary for Hillary Clinton last night when the Associated Press was still saying it was too close to call. Tonight, Grimes replied to Trump's tweet by saying, quote, "because I can count." Grimes supported Clinton at rallies around the state. Clinton won the primary over Bernie Sanders by less than 2,000 votes. It has been nearly a month since Prince died, shocking his fans all around the world. Tonight, the singer received a special tribute here in Lexington.
A group of musicians gathered to honor Prince's life and celebrate his legendary career. Our Monique Blair has the story new at 11.
I loved him. And so, I mean, it was just a shock that he passed away.
Nearly 1 month has passed since the world was struck by the tragic news that Prince was dead. So tonight, hundreds of people, many donned in purple, came together to honor and celebrate the life of a man many called the greatest musician of all time.
He touched lives everywhere.
My first concert was Prince at the Rupp Arena, and I'm here to party like it's 1999.
The concert was also meant to be a gesture for healing.
Basically, trying to give a resolution to the grieving process from losing someone who's been in our lives since the early 80s.
22 artists from across Lexington played in this concert at Manchester Music Hall, and each of them played free of charge because they told me this was about the tribute to Prince.
I've been covering a couple of his songs for a while, so it is something he's definitely an influence for me, yes.
The free tribute concert lasted nearly 2 hours and, of course, ended on a crowd favorite. In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And more than 400 people attended tonight's tribute to Prince.
Security lines are getting longer at many airports around the country, and travelers and the airline industry are losing their patience. But is anything being done to help? That's in 9 minutes.
And then a traffic stop in southern Kentucky leading to a whole lot more. what police say they found in a car that now has a baby's parents facing charges.
Mothers can donate breast milk online and they can get it for free. It's a growing trend, but is it safe?
You would not walk up to an absolute stranger on the street and say, give me a unit of blood.
Breast milk donations, Thursday at 6 on WKYT.
Kentucky mornings start here. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
We started with the class-leading RX. We gave it paddle shifters to help you command the road. A sport mode to help you control the road. And a sport-tuned suspension to help you connect with the road. The Lexus RX F-Sport. This is the RX Elevated. Lease the 2016 RX 350 for $419 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
Clients come into the office. The government has said, no, I don't believe you. You're not disabled.
The major problem with Social Security disability is that most people who sign up are denied at the initial level. If your claim's denied, don't give up. Call us immediately. We'll appeal your case.
We can do an effective job of representing you that will get you the benefits that you deserve.
Call Morgan, Collins, and Yeast, 1-800-55-WILDCAT.
A season pass to Kentucky Kingdom is only $59.95. And with benefits like free parking and dollar drinks, a season pass pays for itself in just one visit. And enjoy the rest of the summer for free. Stop by your local Kroger store to get yours today. But hurry, offer ends soon.
Pick up fresh avocados or mangoes and get 10 for $10. And Heritage Farm chicken drumsticks or thighs are 88 cents a pound. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
We all know that Kentucky Kingdom has thrilling rides, like Storm Chaser, the park's 5th roller coaster. But what's equally thrilling is the price of a season pass, only $59.95, just $10 more than a one-day ticket. And that's before benefits like free parking, $1 drinks, and other discounts. Visit KentuckyKingdom.com or your local Kroger. But hurry, offer ends soon. And remember, a season pass pays for itself in just one visit. Enjoy the rest of the summer free.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on Mix 94.5. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
If you are playing along at home, today was the 5th straight day in Lexington with a high temperature 65 degrees or colder. That's the second latest 5-day period of 65 and colder on record for Lexington. Only 2002 had a slightly later time frame with that. Crazy cool out there. Let's look at the numbers right now because we are still on the chilly side. Low and mid-50s into much of central and eastern Kentucky. 50 Richmond, hello Danville, Somerset, Monticello, you're down to 50. A little warmer in the north. We had more in the way of sunshine today. Defender Radar Network, no precipitation for a change tonight. So I'm showing you a little bit of cloud cover, and many areas are beginning to clean those skies up. That's going to allow temperatures to drop overnight, but we're watching that western skyline. Look at all the nice weather folks across the Mississippi Valley are seeing. That is much better weather coming into Kentucky for the day on Thursday. Let's break down the next 3 days. I want to start right out of the gate with the good news. That's your Thursday forecast. Much better. Sunshine, I think many of us will see thermometers touch 70, if not hit the low 70s. Are you going to get upset if it's only 69 degrees where you live? I didn't think so. Into Friday, this is where you really get upset. Heavy rains come back into town. Some rumbles of thunder a possibility too. We go into Saturday. Rain is around, but it comes at us in more of a shower form as opposed to the constant stuff that I expect late Friday into Friday evening. Can't even rule out a late day peak of sunshine to wrap up your Saturday. Hour-by-hour forecasts, new numbers are in, new rainfall estimates too. Let's get after it. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, upper 40s. Through the afternoon tomorrow, it's mostly sunny. Some of us will see a little bit of high cloud cover trying to develop. And again, upper 60s to low 70s. Not going to get that deep blue, just constant blue sky tomorrow. We'll take whatever we can get. 11 o'clock tomorrow night, 50s. Look how quickly, though, the clouds increase into Friday morning. Upper 40s to low 50s. And as we go through the day, between noon and 5 o'clock especially, rains begin to arrive. And as we go into the evening, Rains become heavy at times into much of central and eastern Kentucky, but at least it's a warm rain this go around. We are into the mid-60s for any outdoor plans or maybe dinner and a date night on your Friday evening. Saturday morning, area of low pressure is right on top of the region. So as that low works its way to our east, we're still getting in on some showers. And look what happens to temperatures. Temperatures middle of the day on Saturday are much cooler than late Friday evening as that northerly wind wraps in behind that low pressure. We go through the afternoon on your Saturday. Potential is still there for a shower or two. That same computer model run is spitting out 1 to local 2 and 3 inch amounts across the region Friday and into the day on Saturday. Better weather. We'll try to follow this up, though, into next week. Enjoy tomorrow. We've told you all week long Thursday is your day. Thursday's the day to take advantage of it. Whatever it is you're going to do outside, do it. 62 with some late day showers and thunderstorms on Friday. 60s again on Saturday. Still looking damp and windy. Sunday tries to make up for it. Monday and Tuesday really go out of their way to make up for it with temperatures hitting the low 80s.
But tomorrow, just a mad rush to be out there and enjoy every second of it.
Tomorrow's a good day, and with all this rain and sun tomorrow, you can literally look outside and you can watch your grass grow even after you mow it, you know? Yeah, it's going to be one of those days.
Okay, thanks.
All right, guys.
It has been in the works for more than a year, and now it looks like one company's plan to buy Time Warner is about to become reality. The update in 7 minutes.
Hi, Shane Huffman with Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort, where today you can lease a brand new 2016 Honda CR-V for just $259 a month. Plus, we're going to back all our deals with our 110% price protection guarantee. That's Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort. Huffman has it.
All right, come on, everybody, it's time to go.
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, digital coupons, and even fuel points to help you save at the pump. No spin, just savings.
Treat your family to sweet red cherries for just $2.99 a pound and boneless pork chops for $2.88 a pound. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Thanks for testing our new car service today.
Of course.
Our service is a little bit different.
Okay.
Since we traveled 5.1 miles and this car offers an EPA estimated 37 miles per gallon highway, your total is 31 cents.
What?
The all-new 2016 Chevy Malibu LT.
Current qualified GM lessees can get this all-new 2016 Chevy Malibu LT for around $199 a month, or find your tag and get $2,000 on this Chevy Malibu LT. See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
You're invited to a grand opening barbecue. Bluegrass RV is excited to introduce new owners and new management. Saturday, May 21st from 10 a.m. till noon, it's free barbecue, rain or shine. Come meet the stars of UK96's championship team. Anthony Epps, Cameron Mills, Jared Priggett, Jeff Shepard, and more special guests. Come celebrate the grand opening of Bluegrass RV on North Broadway in Lexington, Saturday, May 21st, starting at 10 a.m.
Hi, we need a truck for our family.
Yeah, something that can keep up with us. Well, Tundra's perfect. Tows up to 10,000 pounds, so you can go boating, ATVing, or camping. Oh, that's fun. Maybe we made these scenes too realistic.
Choose from a great selection of Tacomas, just named Best Overall Value of the Year. Or get the full-size American-made Tundra and get 1.9 financing for 60 months.
You look like happy campers.
Toyota, let's go places.
I'm Philip Weisenberger. My family has been milling grains from Kentucky farmers since 1865. Through 6 generations, we've learned that quality takes hard work. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you help keep our traditions alive. Look for Weisenberger Mills and other Kentucky Proud products available every day at Kroger.
Right now at Kroger, Weisenberger Biscuit Mix is 10 for $10. And pick up Kroger Sour Cream or dips and get 10 for $10. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
Hi, Shane Huffman with Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort, where today you can lease a brand new 2016 Honda CR-V for just $259 a month. Plus, we're going to back all our deals with our 110% price protection guarantee. That's Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort. Huffman has it.
We have some breaking international news happening right now that we're tracking. Just minutes ago, Egypt Air announced on its Facebook account that one of its jets has disappeared from radar. The airline says Flight 804, which was heading from Paris to Cairo, Egypt, is now missing. Airline officials say there are 59 passengers and 10 crew members on board. We want you to keep checking WKYT.com and the WKYT News app for the very latest updates. Well, just as the busy summer travel season is about to begin, there's frustration and anger in the air at many of America's busiest airports.
The lines at security checkpoints are getting longer, and it's only expected to get worse in the coming months. And Danielle Nottingham tells us passengers, trade groups, and the airlines are urging the Transportation Security Administration to do something.
An airline industry trade group says some passengers have had to wait more than 2 hours to get through security at some U.S. airports.
Already was on a flight 3 times in the last couple of days.
American Airlines will invest $4 million to hire contractors to help passengers get to the TSA checkpoint faster. Southwest is asking its employees to help move the lines along.
We can't do the TSA job for them, but we can at least lend a hand if it's not a security-specific position.
Last week, Congress approved $34 million to hire additional TSA officers and to pay overtime to manage the long lines. But the head of the House Homeland Security Committee says that's not enough. He'll introduce legislation to make the TSA more efficient.
This is a crisis, and it demands that Congress act. And that's what I intend to do.
Industry analysts predict more passengers will fly this summer than ever before. That's an extra 95,000 people a day compared to last year. Travelers we spoke with here at LAX say they're giving themselves extra time.
I came 3 hours early to make sure I got my flight.
Many members of Congress say there should be better programs for recruiting and retaining TSA officers. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The TSA administrator will testify before the House Homeland Security Committee next week. Some lawmakers want him to resign if the agency cannot speed up security lines by Memorial Day.
Police have arrested a couple they say were high on drugs in a car with their 3-month-old baby inside. Christopher Lawson and April Hicks now face many charges. London police say they pulled over Lawson's car yesterday on Highway 192 for expired plates. Police say they soon realized Lawson and Hicks were both high. They say Lawson admitted he had just snorted a prescription painkiller, and police say both admitted to using meth. Police say inside the baby's diaper bag they found a gram of meth and a needle.
Unfortunately, it's a very common thing because they usually don't think police officers are going to look there.
Neither Lawson or Hicks wanted to talk to us from jail today. Court documents say Lawson has faced many drug, theft, and burglary charges in the last decade.
New tonight, Time Warner Cable is close to having a new owner. Charter Communications is expected to complete its acquisition of Time Warner Cable soon. Charter agreed to buy the company last year, but the deal was not cleared by antitrust regulators until the last few weeks. Charter says its Spectrum brand will replace the Time Warner Cable brand over the next year and a half, and the name Time Warner will eventually be phased out. The company will be known as Charter Communications. Big decision coming up tomorrow afternoon, Rob.
Well, the long wait on Marquise Bolden will finally come to an end. We will hear from him, and the odds and the posts are set for the Preakness. What did Doug O'Neill have to say today about Nyquist? Sports is next.
It's Toyota time at Green's Toyota of Lexington during their Toyota Time sales event going on this weekend. 0% financing on 10 different Toyota models, including the new 2016 Avalon, Camry, Corolla, Prius, RAV4, and Sienna, with up to $2,500 in customer cash available. And save up to $5,000 off MSRP on new Toyotas with our Green Saver coupon. Hurry in to Kentucky's #1 Toyota dealer, Green's Toyota.
Great people, great cars, think Greens.
A season pass to Kentucky Kingdom is only $59.95. And with benefits like free parking and dollar drinks, a season pass pays for itself in just one visit. And enjoy the rest of the summer for free. Stop by your local Kroger store to get yours today. But hurry, offer ends soon.
Pick up fresh avocados or mangoes and get 10 for $10. And Heritage Farm chicken drumsticks or thighs are 88 cents a pound. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $187 million.
Before you buy a new Hyundai anywhere, shop Gates Hyundai in Richmond. We have a large selection of new Hyundais, all competitively priced. Our staff is professional. They respect you and the value of your time. You can shop online or come in. Pick out your car, you can be out at no time at all. And when we advertise a car at a price, we'll have it. We're only 3 stoplights from Hamburg. Before you buy a new Hyundai anywhere, shop Gates Hyundai in Richmond.
I don't want to live with the uncertainties of Hep C.
Or wonder whether I should seek treatment. I am ready.
Because today, there's Harvoni, a revolutionary treatment for the most common type of chronic hepatitis C. Harvoni is proven to cure up to 99% of patients who've had no prior treatment. It transformed treatment as the first cure that's 1 pill once a day for 12 weeks. Certain patients can be cured with just 8 weeks of Harvoni. Harvoni is a simple treatment regimen that's been prescribed to more than 250,000 patients. Tell your doctor if you've had a liver transplant, other liver or kidney problems, HIV, or any other medical conditions, and about all the medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Harvoni may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects of Harvoni may include tiredness, headache, and weakness.
I am ready to put Hep C behind me.
I am ready to be cured.
Are you ready? Ask your Hep C specialist if Harvoni is right for you.
We're pleased to announce that we now have Honda in Richmond, which means you can shop and compare the 4 leading brands all in one location. So where else can you shop and compare the 4 best brands, be only minutes from Fayette County, work with 1 salesperson, and only have to have your car appraised once? For your convenience, out of respect for your time, we now offer Gates Honda, Gates Hyundai, Gates Nissan, and Toyota South, all on the bypass in Richmond.
Charles Matthews, the 6'6" guard out of Chicago, is transferring from Kentucky. UK making the announcement this morning saying the freshman had been given his full release. Matthews did undergo a medical procedure on his hip this spring, but he was expected to be just fine. No word yet as to where he might be headed. Matthews' announcement comes amid speculation as to where Texas big man Marquise Bolden will land. Bolden, the top unsigned prospect in the country, is set to announce his college choice tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. Bolden is said to have it down to Duke and Kentucky. Predictions tonight going both ways. He told us at the McDonald's All-America game he believes he could fit in nicely with UK's class.
The way they play, first of all, and the versatility they have. I mean, they have many players that can play multiple positions, so it makes it easy to play with them. Fox and Malik, they can both run the 1-2, and then playing with Sasha and Bam in the front court, I mean, that's a big-time help. I mean, with the aggressiveness of both of them players, I just like how versatile and how aggressive they are.
Golden State trying to come back against Oklahoma City in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Steph Curry, the three-pointer in the third quarter. Warriors go up 10. Just over 6 minutes left in the third. Curry hits again from long range. 15-point lead. And moments later, here goes Curry again. Had the foot on the line. That was a 2. Late in the fourth, it is all Golden State. 117-84. Warriors will even up this series tonight. A decommitment for UK football. Defensive end James Hudson out of Toledo says he is reopening his recruiting. Hudson, number 51 here, is a 4-star player. He goes 6'5", 280. He committed to the Cats last summer. Since then, he has drawn considerable interest, including an offer from Alabama. Hudson said on Twitter he will keep Kentucky high on his list, but he wants to enjoy the recruiting process. It will be a field of 11 for Saturday's Preakness. Derby winner Nyquist installed as the 3-5 favorite late this afternoon. Here's the field. Nyquist will break from post 3. Exaggerator, the second choice at 3-1, has post 5. Bob Baffert trains Collected at 10-1. He won the Lexington Stakes at Keeneland. Doug O'Neill trains Nyquist. He was optimistic going into the Derby, and he was optimistic today.
He's training equally as well. You know, you don't never know what 2 weeks does, but he speaks to us in so many ways. And one is in the feed tub. He's eating up super. He's got great energy. And Johnny Garcia, who gets on him every day, says he feels as good as ever. So we're very optimistic.
UK baseball hosts Missouri starting tomorrow night in the final SEC series of the season, and for the Cats it is do or die time. Kentucky desperately needs to win this series against the Tigers, maybe sweep them to ensure an NCAA bid. The SEC tournament is next, and winning there would certainly help as well. The seniors want to go out on a high note.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought about it, is the last chance to play in ball, so I definitely want to leave it all out on the field, and I think everyone wants to do the same. All the seniors, Kyle and Beggs, they came back for their senior year to do this, so they definitely want to have that extra something special at the end of the season.
And we move on to the NCAA Regional Golf Championship. The Cats finished fourth today in the regional in Tuscaloosa. Georgia won it with South Carolina second. Two Wildcats finished in the top 10 individually. Clay County's Tyler McDaniel fourth with a 71. Lucas Euler also shot 71. He tied for sixth. Reds are trailing the Indians again. Gave up a two-run homer in the ninth inning to tie it, and the Indians take the lead 8-7. It is in the 12th. We'll be right back.
Come celebrate National Barbecue Month with all-you-can-eat St. Louis ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. An endless helping of sweet and smoky or dry rub ribs for just $14.99 for a limited time. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
If you have a business dispute, the consultation is free, and you don't pay us unless we're successful for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Welcome to Toyota Time. Tons of awesome vehicles. Great deals for everyone. Thanks. Low APR financing. Woo! Here's your balloon.
Coffee.
Shoulders. Water. I have the best team. Oh, here I come.
Now get the all-new 2016 midsize Prius, named a must-test-drive vehicle by Auto Trader with 0 for 60 financing, or lease Prius for $239 a month.
Here you go. And here I go.
Toyota, let's go places.
Kentucky lottery sales have funded grants and scholarships for over 500,000 Kentucky college students. So every time you play, the Commonwealth wins.
Fueling imagination.
Funding education.
I don't want to live with the uncertainties of Hep C.
Or wonder whether I should seek treatment. I am ready.
Because today, there's Harvoni, a revolutionary treatment for the most common type of chronic hepatitis C. Harvoni is proven to cure up to 99% of patients who've had no prior treatment. It transformed treatment as the first cure that's one pill once a day for 12 weeks. Certain patients can be cured with just 8 weeks of Harvoni. Harvoni is a simple treatment regimen that's been prescribed to more than 250,000 patients. Tell your doctor if you've had a liver transplant, other liver or kidney problems, HIV, or any other medical conditions, and about all the medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Harvoni may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects of Harvoni may include tiredness, headache, and weakness.
I am ready to put Hep C behind me.
I am ready to be cured.
Are you ready? Ask your Hep C specialist if Harvoni is right for you.
At Paul Miller Ford, we want all our customers to drive happy.
I certainly would recommend Paul Miller to friends and family. The staff and the service is exceptional.
Oh, I love it. That Eagle boost is really nice.
That's why we're honored to win our 3rd Ford President's Award for Customer Satisfaction.
This one I buy now will be my 4th F-150.
Come visit our President's Award sales event and get 0% financing for 60 months on Ford F-150s like Larry's. Point, click, drive at paulmillerford.com.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service certified asthma and allergy friendly. It's our new standard of clean. Now get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned, just $99.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter.
The The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is less than a minute away here on WKYT. Tonight's guests include Josh Gad and Jillian Jacobs.
And we're just 25 minutes from a Thursday that sounds like it is going to be beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. The emojis for the first time this week are breaking out the shades as we go into our Thursday. Temperatures will hit the upper 60s and low 70s. Mix of sun and clouds, then the emojis go the other way on Saturday. Especially Friday into Saturday, it turns really wet. That weekend forecast, Sunday looks a whole lot better than our Saturday with some leftover showers possible, even into Sunday morning in eastern Kentucky. Sunday afternoon looks sunny as of now.
But at least we've got tomorrow.
At least we have tomorrow. Thursday's good.
We've missed the sunglasses.
Yeah, we have. They've been AWOL for most of May.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Go out and enjoy your Thursday tomorrow.